Boss of YouTube. Hey, yo, how's it going, guys? 6 Foot Hacks here. Have for y'all today the team builder for week number 4 of season 3 for the WBE. Your Durham Druddigons are taking on Jodor and his Seattle Sea Kings. Of course, if you guys do enjoy the team builder, hit that thumbs up button down below. Also, let me know in the comment section below, what is your favorite type of priority? Let me know that in the comment section below. For me, I have to say it's probably extreme speed. Extreme speed is just so nice because it can almost out prioritize every other type of priority. But let me know what your favorite is down in the comment section below and in the description. Check out our opponent, check out our merchandise if you guys want to support the Durham Druddigons, and check out the rest of the WBE season 3 roster. So let's take a look at the matchup here. Huge shouts out to my boy Marin Varin and Zazo. Both of them mainly helped me prep for this matchup here. Zazo gave some input and Marin helped me figure out as well a couple sets that I definitely wanted to bring. So huge shouts out to them. I don't think Harris helped this week because he is helping Jodor. Or he's in Jodor's front office too, so I think he just kind of stayed neutral. And I know Joe was busy and Shuckle King was busy. So yeah, shouts out to Zazo and Marin. But looking at our matchup here, I am really not confident going into this battle. Also, I want to apologize if there's going to be some editing errors on your screen. Is just because me and Jodor are playing this on Friday, so I'm going to try and get this up after our battle. And yeah, so if I edit too fast and I maybe skip some things or some stuff are misspelled, then I apologize. So just letting y'all know right now. But this matchup is actually really annoying, mainly for the fact that Manectric is probably the biggest biggest issue that I need to deal with in this matchup. He has overheat to just absolutely bop my Steelix, so I figured something maybe like Silvally Ground could be really good in this matchup. However, though, Swords Dance Scizor is something else that could be very terrifying as well late game. So I don't necessarily want to bring a Silvally Ground. And he can also have the Sneasel to just destroy me. Another real big issue in this game is Haxorus. Haxorus along with Mega Manectric offensively are easily the two biggest problems that I need to deal with, because Scarf Haxorus or just Dragon Dance Haxorus late game, if I lose my priority or if I lose my resist or immunity to it, just means that it's going to be able to come in, set up, or spam it, stab, and just win. And then switching into Mega Manectric offensively is really annoying. Also, Infernape is a bit of an issue depending on what set it's running. I figured that it could be Z-Move or Stealth Rocks with Z-Move. Scizor, I'm not sure if it'll be Banded or Setup. Mega Venusaur definitely has to be either physically defensive or specially defensive going into this battle. Sneasel, I almost don't think he's going to want to bring Sneasel, just because Sneasel is only really there for my Reuniclus, and he does have other ways of dealing with my Reuniclus, so a part of me almost doesn't expect Sneasel. Basically, the things that I don't expect in this game are going to be Jellicent, Sigilyph, mainly for my Alolan Muck, and then I also don't expect the Sneasel. So along with those three, his last two mons, Gramble or Donphan, I definitely expect one or both of those to come, because they are able to deal with so much of our physically offensive mons. Also, if he doesn't bring Donphan, then that just means my Alolan Muck can come in, potentially curse and sweep if I did bring a setup Muck. So I definitely expect Donphan, although I guess Gramble kind of does the same thing that Donphan does. He doesn't really have the best Stealth Rockers in this matchup, so I figured Donphan is probably his more reliable Stealth Rocker, because I don't think he wants to force Infernape to be a Stealth Rocker in this game. So yeah, both of them definitely coming makes a lot of sense, or one or the other. So with that being said, we can go ahead and jump into our first team member here. We have Mega Lopunny, aka Lacey Evans, of course, returning as always. She is running a Adamant Nature this time around, because we don't need to run Jolly whatsoever going into this game. I think we do have enough speed to guarantee outspeeding Sneasel, because the thing with Sneasel is that because it has Inner Focus, if it's not in range of where my Fake Out can knock it out, with Inner Focus, he breaks through the Fake Out, and then he can potentially get off a low kick or an Icicle Crash on me, followed up by an Ice Shard potentially. So I don't really want to deal with that. So that's actually where Fire Punch kind of does come in handy, because either Fire Punch or Return can knock out Sneasel if he's not a Violite, or after a little bit of chip damage he's not a Violite. Again, I don't expect Sneasel, if it were to come Life Orbed or Choice Banded, makes a lot of sense, I want to say. So him being a Violite probably is not going to be brought, in my opinion. We have a double priority once again, because the great thing about this is that this makes our matchup against Dragon Dance or Scarf Haxorus infinitely better. Like, I'm so terrified of super fast Haxorus or just a Haxorus that's been able to set up for free, that with the double priority here, as long as we're able to put Haxorus at about 50-ish%, it's either 50 or like 55%, he will always be 2-hit KO'd by fake out into quick attack, which is amazing because that means that we don't have to lose too many Pokemon to it. But of course, I need to get off that damage before I can guarantee knocking him out. So you guys will see our Stealth Rocker later in this game. Of course, rocks are going to be playing a huge factor in this game because of being able to weaken his mons, break sturdies, or just guarantee certain Okos or 2-hit KOs. And that's where rocks really help out Lopunny as well. Return plus Fire Punch hits absolutely everything and anything that he could want to bring, unless he's like physically defensive Akaberry Scizor with, I guess, Swords Dance Bullet Punch, which even then I don't think a +2 if he's like physically defensive would knock me out. See, that's the thing about Scizor and Venusaur in this match, is that they need to choose between either physically defensive or specially defensive, just because of the way that my offense works. So if I'm able to find out what set they are both running, then I can deal with them a little bit easier. For example, if he's not especially defensive Mega Venusaur, return after rocks is a straight 2-hit KO on Mega Venusaur, which is insane. And then if he doesn't have Akaberry, without the physical defense investment, Fire Punch after rocks is a guaranteed Oko, which is also really good. So yeah, return and Fire Punch are realistically the only two moves that we need. Again, double priority is really nice, mainly for the Haxorus. Also helps against a Scarfed Manectric and potentially a Scarfed or either Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave Scizor. And I guess it's also really nice too in case Infernape, sorry. And then it's really nice too if Scizor is super low, so it's in range of fake out plus quick attack, and then if we're in range of bullet punch we can fake out, then knock him out with the quick attack. So yeah, that's really cool. Hoping that Mega Lopunny puts in a little bit of work here. Next off, we have a really cool set. Shouts out to my boy Zazo for suggesting this type of Silvally actually, and it's Silvally Water. Now, this seems a little bit odd, but the way that this set is meant to work is that it's supposed to stop Scizor from hopefully running train on us if I let it set up or get out of hand. This also really helps us to deal with the Infernape, the Sneasel, also the Donphan, as well as the Jellicent. I think I originally did have Surf over Toxic, but the issue with that is that my team had nothing to status Jellicent or try to do any damage to it. So while I don't expect Jellicent to come, I still want it to be safe and have something that can do some type of damage to it, even if it's just Toxic. Being able to get off that constant residual damage every single turn is really good. And then Toxic is also really nice for Donphan, for Granbull. I guess maybe if we catch Infernape on a switch in, or if he finds out that we don't have Surf. But if he sees Silvally Water and I don't reel to him my last move, he needs to keep in mind that I could have Surf, so I don't know why he would leave it in, but maybe on a switch, or why he would switch it in as well. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. Toxic is just really nice to status his fat mons. Flamethrower hits the Scizor, which again, this is what this is mainly here for, and I can also just spam Flamethrower against the rest of his team, potentially trying to fish for a burn. Parting Shot is my best way of trying to deal with Haxorus, because if Haxorus does not boost up, while even though yes, its speed does get boosted, it's still going to either be at neutral attack or at -1, depending on what exactly he's running on the Haxorus. So from there, we'll determine on how exactly I can potentially deal with it. But if Haxorus is still at neutral attack, then that means my defensive mons will be able to always tank a hit from it, get off the necessary damage that I need them to, and then that way Lopunny can come in and revenge kill them. Or if I want to, I guess I can Toxic the Haxorus if I know it's Scarfed, but probably Parting Shotting out against it is going to be my main reasoning to deal with Haxorus. And then we have Defog, because it's just really nice for hazard control. Obviously, yes, me getting a Brox on my opponent's side of the field is going to be very important. I also do not want to have rocks on my side of the field though. So this is going to be my main way of pivoting, trying to set up my mons to hopefully come in and sweep and hopefully just annoy his team, essentially, is what I want to try and do with this Silvally set in the end. We are running enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Max Speed Scizor. I honestly don't expect Jolly Max Speed Scizor, but it's one of those things where I would rather be safe than sorry, because if he expects me to not prep for Max Speed Scizor and it turns out to be like Swords Dance Superpower or Swords Dance Bug Bite, he outspeeds my Silvally and just obliterates me. So yeah, would rather be safe than sorry here. We are running enough speed to outspeed that. In turn, we also outspeed everything else that could not be speed invested, essentially, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, moving on to our next team member here, and our second water type, we have Manaphy with the Wakan Berry. Now this goes back to me talking about Stealth Rocks. Yes, Manectric is such a problem. Manectric is such a problem, dude. But with Wakan Berry here, if I am able to set up my Manaphy, and he either has to choose between coming in with Manectric, hoping that I don't have the berry, or choosing between Thunderbolt or Volt Switch, then if he's choiced, that means he's locked into that move, and then I can bring in something accordingly. If he is Life Orbed, that means he's taking rocks damage along with the along with the Life Orb damage, which will hopefully be 2 hits. So when it comes in, it's losing 12% from the rocks, and then after 2 hits, it's losing 20% more health. So it's already down 32% HP, and that again makes it so much easier for the rest of my team to be able to deal with it. Yes, it is difficult to defensively deal with Manectric, but I have ways of dealing with it regardless. Another great thing about Manaphy in this matchup is that if I can get rid of Mega Venusaur, then that means that my Mega Lopunny can actually just destroy him. He has no real good answer to switch into my Lopunny. Once Mega Venusaur is gone, yes, he could have Granbull or Donphan, but Donphan doesn't have recovery, and the Granbull probably won't be something like Z Heal Bell. Actually, Rocky Helmet Granbull is what we are expecting to come to this match if he were to bring Granbull. So once Mega Venusaur is gone, my Lopunny's matchup becomes so much easier because his other ways of dealing with it either have no form of reliable recovery, or I just Fire Punch and Scizor dies. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind the set. This is going to be able to set up on Mega Venusaur, and this can also be a backup check to the Manectric if it really comes down to it. This can also help deter the Scizor and the Infernape. This can also break through Granbull and Donphan for my Lopunny, which is amazing. So Psychic, Surf, and Ice Beam hits everything for neutral or super effective damage. I was really trying hard to fit Shadow Ball on the set for the Jellicent, but realistically I just couldn't. I need Psychic for the Venusaur. Ice Beam destroys Haxorus, and Psychic does not do enough to Haxorus. And then Surf, of course, is for stab, and that's our best way of dealing with the Donphan, Granbull, Scizor, and Infernape. And then I guess we can Ice Beam Sigilyph, but again, I don't expect Sigilyph. So yeah, while it would have been nice to have 5 moves, unfortunately Manaphy did have 4 move slot syndrome here, but I don't need Manaphy to beat the entirety of Joe's team. I just need Manaphy to come in, try to punch a hole that then Lopunny can take advantage of, essentially. So yeah, we are running enough speed to outspeed the Sigilyph and the Haxorus. The rest is into our special attack, so we can do as much damage as possible, and then just 20 in Spadef for Volt Switch and Thunderbolt, I suppose. So speaking of Stealth Rocks, we are going to be bringing Steelix here as our rocker. Now, the thing between Cradily and Steelix is that they both kind of have rough matchups, but honestly, Steelix helps me out way more than Cradily would help me out in this match. While yes, Cradily having recovery is really nice, the great thing about Steelix though is that if he does bring Manectric and it turns out to be a choice Manectric, so long as I have Steelix in the back, I can always switch it in on any type of electric move that he has, and then from there we can play the mind games of, am I going to go straight for an offensive move? Am I going to double? Is he going to expect me to double, then stay in, and then that way I knock out Manectric? Or he is going to expect me to stay in, so he switches out and then I double out into whatever I expect him to bring against me. So that's kind of why I mainly just want Steelix over Cradily. It's just that this helps me kind of just a little bit, just a little bit deal with the Manectric, and there's no way that he should ever be able to 2-hit KO me unless he is choice specs Overheat. But if he's locked into Overheat, that just gives my Manaphy a chance to set up, that gives my Silvally a chance to Parting Shot or Toxic, that gives my Lopunny a chance to come in and return potentially, or one of my other mons to come in and set up. So yeah, again, it depends what kind of set Manectric is, and of course if it's Life Orb after rocks, it's going to be just severely weakening itself, which is also in turn going to be very helpful for us. So yeah, just went max Spadef, almost max HP, and then Adamant Nature. Fire Fang is really nice because if he is not Aqua Berry Scizor, or if he's not max defense max HP Scizor, Fire Fang can actually 2-hit KO him, and that in itself is amazing. So that's why I actually don't need Sheer Force. I was going to calc Sheer Force Force, but I figured that if it really comes down to it, if I have my Sturdy intact late game and I need to live a hit, I would rather have Sturdy than have Sheer Force, where Sheer Force might have not helped me, but in certain scenarios, Sturdy benefits me more than Sheer Force, essentially. So yeah, Earthquake, Heavy Slam, and Fire Fang hit absolutely everything. I think I was considering putting Flash Cannon actually over Heavy Slam, but we're still doing pretty good damage to the Granbull realistically. Also, yeah, Akaberry helps for a Fire Blast Granbull, but if Granbull is gone, then that just opens up the gate for Lopunny to come in and bop him. So yeah, again, there's so much that Steelix can actually do in this game. While it can't beat something like Mega Venusaur, Jellicent, or even Donphan, it can actually kind of deal with the rest of his team, and that in itself is really good because I can just play this aggressively if it comes down to it, and even if he has Manectric in the back, once his team is already picked apart or his team is severely weakened, I can just bring in my setup or my priority and win. And speaking of setup here, we have Bailey, aka Reuniclus. Shouts out to my boy Marin Varen for this set here. The great thing about Reuniclus in this match is while yes, he may have Sneasel, firstly, I don't expect Sneasel to come. And even if he were to bring it, Hidden Power Fire still does so much damage to it. And then with Jellicent and Sigilyph being so weak to Alolan Muck, I don't expect them to come either, which means, in theory, Psychic and Hidden Power Fire hits everything for super effective, or neutral. I was going to try and avoid saying that, but then I realized, hey, Manectric is not hit super effectively, and neither is Haxorus. So yeah, essentially there should be nothing that resists these two moves, and it should still be doing enough damage to the point where everything is not bulky enough to guarantee easily tanking 2 hits from Reuniclus, is essentially what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Psychic basically blows back everything that is not Scizor, Jellicent, or Sigilyph, and then Hidden Power Fire destroys Sneasel and Scizor. So yeah, if I can get rid of, I guess, Jellicent, Sneasel, and Sigilyph, if they were to come, then once this comes in, I Trick Room, and I just kind of claim kills, basically. Now, another option would have been to have Shadow Ball over Recover, I guess, but at the same time, I can use this Reuniclus as a pivot. The great thing about this spread is that if he's not Choice Banded Sneasel, and he's not just purely offensive Scizor, I can always live 1 hit from them, and in return potentially go for a Trick Room or pick up a KO or recover off the damage. So that's kind of the idea behind this set. It can come in, it can deal damage, it can pivot around, it can tank hits, it can also come in late game, Trick Room, and just sweep once his bulky mons are gone or weakened, because I already smacked his frail offense with Psychic and Hidden Power Fire. Reuniclus didn't even need to run anywhere near max special attack going into this battle. So thanks to the Life Orb boost, we can run a lot of bulk and still be able to deal out really good damage. So moving on to our final team member, a Pokemon that I know you guys have been excited to see. A Mon that I've gotten comments about asking, when are you going to bring this Mon? Why has this Mon not been brought? It had a good matchup. Why didn't you bring it? I've read your comments, guys. I've heard your cries. And finally, making his debut, we have Ultimo Dragon, aka Dragonite. Quick disclaimer, this was going to be shiny named the Hurricane, but somebody commented saying that Ultimo Dragon was a really good nickname for Dragonite. Plus, I like normal Dragonite better than shiny Dragonite anyway, so yeah, we're going to go with Ultimo Dragon as our Dragonite nickname here. So, Dragonite making his debut, which I am personally very excited for. However, though, I am not so excited about the set here because obviously, as you can see, we are running Hurricane. Now, my first initial thought, there was like so many different Dragonite sets that we were contemplating bringing. I think we thought about Dragon Dance, we thought about Weakness Policy, there was even a crazy set, I don't remember what it was, but it was something like absolutely insane that would have, that actually could have been pretty fire if we did bring it. But ultimately, we settled on this set. If I'm not mistaken, this set was made by my boy Marin. And the great thing about this set is that this is able to basically just kind of come in, Z-move, and get a kill, essentially. If you look at Jodor's team, he does not have a very good flying resist. Scizor gets murdered by Flamethrower afterwards, or blown back already by Hurricane. Manectric is going to be either wearing itself down with Life Orb and Hazards, or if it locked itself into HP Ice, I just take advantage of that with one of my other Mons. So another nice thing is that with E-Speed here, we are still able to do some type of damage or pick off things like Infernape, Manectric, and Sneasel. Now, originally I did want to have Dragon Dance here because I figured that having the +1 speed was going to be absolutely amazing, and then at +1 speed, E-Speed also just obliterates Sneasel. But this is where, again, something like Scarfed Haxorus is such a problem because it has Mold Breaker, which means it just nullifies my multi-scale, so even if I get the +1, then he's gonna knock me out. If for some reason Sneasel is a Violite, it can tank an E-Speed and then knock me out with an Ice Shard or an Icicle Crash if he does expect me to E-Speed. At least with this set, the great thing about this set actually is that if I'm able to guarantee rocks are not on my side of the field, Dragonite can pivot in on so many of his mons, come in at full HP, I can click Z Hurricane or just regular Hurricane and potentially nab a KO. Flamethrower is pretty much only there for the Scizor. I really don't want to rely on Hurricane because I don't want to be in the scenario of him bringing in Haxorus, then me reading him as he goes for a Dragon Dance, and then I miss Hurricane and I lose. So I'm going to be very, very careful with how I mess around with my Z move on my Dragonite. There's also a good chance that if he does have Donphan or Gramble, he's just going to expect me to straight up Dragon Dance, and then that way I catch them on a switch in with Hurricane or Z Hurricane and absolutely destroy them, opening up the chance for my Lopunny to come in and sweep essentially. So Hurricane also blows back Mega Venusaur, which is amazing, and this could potentially end up winning late game depending on how things go. My main win conditions in this battle are Mega Lopunny and Reuniclus. But if everything is weakened enough, or if he doesn't have anything that is faster than my Dragonite, then I can just destroy them with my Dragonite. Dragonite basically can beat his defense for my offense. And then even with his offense, I have E-Speed to try and still do some type of chip damage or still being able to pick them off. And then with Roost, if I'm always in multi-scale range, once Haxorus is gone, there should be nothing that he has that can actually one-shot me, and then hopefully because I am especially offensive, I will be able to surprise the Gramble or the Donphan if he does just think I'm going to be physically defensive Dragonite. So yeah, a very bulky, especially offensive Dragonite for its debut here. Again, I really hope that this puts in work, and please please pray that I don't miss Hurricane. Please pray that I don't miss Hurricane, because I know I'm gonna miss it. It's reminding me of week 1 where I brought Focus Blast for Uniclus and I really didn't want to, but in the end it was the best set I could bring, and I missed the very first Focus Blast I went for. So hopefully that doesn't happen with this matchup here, and Ultimo Dragon does have 20/20 vision. So yeah, I rambled on enough. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. Hit that thumbs up button down below. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow with the battle itself. So later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.